All right, folks, back here on BG. Fired up here. We got Cornell Kevin in the house. Back at it here, and he's been on top of absolutely everything, folks. Absolutely everything. So everything that we don't know what we're talking about, this guy does. Kevin, how you been?
Pressure's on. Good. Pressure's on.
Catch us up, Kevin. We're completely out to lunch. What's going on?
Wow. So much. Where do we begin? You got Super 32s. Who's number one? U23s. Transfers, recruiting.
What's the
all sorts of
biggest
stuff.
What's the biggest wow factor for you that's happened since the end of last season to right now? Is there one thing that sticks out as the biggest wow or the biggest shock?
Yeah, I think a couple things, but first off is the possibility of having the 5 for 5. I think that is something that is so big that it could change the whole landscape of college wrestling. And that being the eligibility, 5 years eligibility for everyone, but getting rid of the red shirts. I think that is the ability to change the whole landscape of college wrestling.
Yeah, why don't we dive into that? Because we briefed on how it's going to, in all likelihood, eliminate the red shirts here going forward. Let me ask you, what teams would you say this is going to benefit, and what teams could this be detrimental for?
It's going to really benefit teams like Penn State, who has all these guys that at their disposal, their backups could probably win a team trophy or near it. And now they got 5 years of eligibility out of them. You got 5 years for a PJ Duke and a Marcus Blaze, which is unbelievable. And the teams that it's going to kill are the Ivies, because I'm telling you right now, the Ivies will not budge on this. They will. They the way they look at it is, you're a student that just happens to play sports, and they don't care about it. They proved that in 2021 when they canceled the whole winter seasons because of COVID, when everyone was back. And in Ivy Leagues, you cannot wrestle if you've graduated. They do not have post grads. So there's no 5 years for anybody in the Ivy Leagues unless they adapt, which I don't think they will. So you're going to have, instead of recruiting guys for, it's one thing to say, okay, we got you, but you can gray shirt, but you can't red shirt. Gray shirt, you can't enroll, right? It's one thing to do that. It's another thing to go, we can only give you 4 years of eligibility compared to the 5 that everybody outside of the Ivy Leagues is going to be able to give you.
So what you're saying, Kevin, like almost the entire team is starting out the year gray shirting because they don't want to graduate before. They're just delaying their graduation because Ivy's goofy in the head. What's with all these little knick-knack rules? Because what they're doing, tell me I'm wrong here, they're threatening one of the major players, Cornell, and anyone else, Penn, or any other, they're going to drop a whole level because any major stud's not going to go there. Am I wrong? Because a major stud's going to want all of his 5 years. And what you're saying is, like, Cornell say, no, that's not how we're doing it. And here you got 4 years and that's it. Well, a major stud's not going to go to Cornell.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, you look at the team this year. Well, last year it started with they had to get rid of Cardenas. Cardenas had to go to Michigan. We only got 3 seasons out of him. Teams are getting 5. We only got 3. He had to go because he graduated. Luis Fernandez, the heavyweight, he didn't wrestle because he only got 3 years out of him. And then Foca and Ramirez had to miss the first semester in order to not graduate early. And now you got a situation where you have half the team this year, from 125 to 157, Greg Diakomahalis, Brett Unger, Vince Cornella, Ethan Fernandez, and Meyer Shapiro. They all have to take the semester off. And I know that, like, Meyer's only a junior, but they figured he's going to have to take a semester off either this year or next year. So they might as well just do it all this year. So these guys are all not able to wrestle until December 20th, the last day of their final exams. That's when they can wrestle. A lot of people think it's the start of the second semester, but it's actually at the conclusion of the first semester. But it's just ridiculous. And a lot of these guys take, like Meyer's super smart. He took a lot of college classes in high school. and now he's got to slow everything down so he doesn't graduate early
Unbelievable.
or on time even, you know. It's just
great for life in general, right? But no, how about this though? Couldn't I make the case if with the 5 years of eligibility, you know, maybe Penn State could use their top guys an extra year, but they're not going to be as deep, those programs, because you're going to have wrestlers knowing, well, he's going to be there 5 years. PJ Duke, I might as well go somewhere else, right? Is that a possibility?
I mean, here's the thing though. You got guys like Barraclaw and that they didn't use their full 4 years. So maybe you got guys like or the Marisolas that maybe they'd still be there wanting to be in the program and only using 3 years. Maybe they find it even more incentivized because maybe now they can really get 4 years even because the 5 is being offered. I don't know. It's going to be tricky. What I heard was that red shirts are out the window and Olympic shirts are still in play, but they're going to be strict like they should have been in the first place, where you're going to have to actually be in the Olympic trials in order to use an Olympic shirt. You can't just do what Gable did and be like, oh, 2 years ago, you know, when I didn't even try to make the Olympics, I want to use an Olympic shirt for that. There's going to be no more of that stuff. That's what I'm hearing.
Although what we're talking about here could be a major impact on Ivy League schools if they don't have any flexibility. However, you said something once, Kevin, that don't get too excited because you can almost expect this is going to end up in a courtroom.
Yeah. I mean, you got to look at it. Whereas, where do they draw the line? Now, with this whole getting grandfathered in thing where, you know, teams play on any team of any sport, they were losing their positions because of the maximum roster limits, you know. Then they had to go to court. Then they had to say, well, if you're an athlete last year, you're grandfathered in where you can't get cut from a team. They don't count against the roster limits. Everything involves the NCAA getting sued, right? So where do you draw the line here? Is it going to be where Kazak has 5 years now because, you know, or is it going to be just the incoming freshman? Because I can tell you what, anybody that's still in college, if they don't get the 5 years, they're going to sue. Because especially now that they're making money with name, image, and likeness, you're taking money, bread away from them, you know. So people are gonna be suing. So they're gonna do whatever they can to make this as easy as possible. So I think it's gonna open the door for, again, here we go. We get rid of the COVID years. Now we're gonna have guys in college for 6 years again.
This is messy. It's gonna stay messy. I don't think we've had
a disaster.
Let me transition to this, Kevin, because I don't think we've had a chance to get your thoughts on Bassett going to Virginia Tech, have we? And now that's a situation that will not be messy, right? That's going to be very clean down there for Bassett.
How much money did he lose, Kev?
Oh, hey, at least his dad didn't have to pay for those plane tickets, right?
Yes, thank goodness.
Those are expensive plane tickets, like what, $1 million or something, more than that. I mean, I did that graphic where, you know, there's Dr. Evil and he was laughing like, why pay millions when you could pay thousands? Because it's true. Like Virginia Tech, kudos to them, man. They just sat back and they got them a lot cheaper. I don't know what the amount is they paid, but I can guarantee you that it was nowhere remotely close to what Iowa was paying them. They have to go through a third-party arbitrator and all those deals got to get approved. I realize there's loopholes, but still there's going to be no comparison to what he's getting paid now to what he was with Iowa.
You have to agree with me, though. NCAA wrestling benefited here because we had Virginia Tech's been very good, but we're talking about a team that in the future you can see elevating to being a champion contender. I mean, let's admit it.
Let's fast forward 5 years from now. Good. You could have Penn State, you could have Oklahoma State, Iowa, you could have Virginia Tech, and I'm not even mentioning Ohio
We may
State.
need Virginia Tech because Cornell may be going downwards. Yeah. I hope not.
You know what's funny too, guys, is if you think about it, you want to talk about karma. Remember, Iowa pretty much almost eliminated Virginia Tech's program when Brands moved from Virginia Tech to Iowa, and he took Brett Metcalf and the whole team with him. Now You got Virginia Tech taking these 3 guys, because it's going to be 3,
Ouch.
and taking them right away. But the way I look at it is, you're exactly right, Wayne, is now guys are going to have to go back to actually deciding which college suits them best, because it evens out the playing field as far as money being spent. You don't have these 3 teams that are going to pay way more than everybody else. Now everybody can, if it goes the way it should, can afford the guys they want to afford if they have any kind of program whatsoever to develop money for NIL.
Well, here's the thing. So many of these top shelf wrestlers are also incredibly smart, and they want to go to an Ivy League school. So at some point, I don't know, say Cornell is stubborn and we're not gonna really go 5 years. You got to get this in. If you graduate, you're not allowed to wrestle. That's our rules over here. And someone's got to give here. We cannot lose a Cornell or a Penn or somebody, because a lot of very major players, they want to go to an Ivy League school. They want to wrestle at Ivy League. But if they're going to lose a whole year, that might be more of a blow. That's a huge blow.
It's not even Cornell's decision, it's the Ivy League's decision, and that's the problem. It makes it even a bigger problem, The Ivy League is the one that sets the rules for them.
I didn't know that.
So Cornell would have to not be an Ivy League school to be out of those rules, and that's not going to ever happen. So I'm telling you, this is the reason that Rob Cole left. He had enough. He built that field house, he had a hard hat on working in this thing, blueprints and everything. He built the whole Friedman Center up. He got all the money for it and everything. And then he was like, I can't do this. When they canceled 2021 on him, he's like, when is it going to end? How do I know they're not going to cancel 2022? He took off to Stanford. He didn't want to go to Stanford otherwise. That showed his alma mater came up and he passed, but he had enough of it. Max Dean, we lost Max Dean because of that. And then Kyle Dake, he was losing partners left and right. And Rob Cole's gone, so Kyle Dake goes to NLWC. The list goes on. It sucks. This sucks for me. It's exciting for a lot of fans, I bet. But you know what? Even the fans that aren't Cornell fans, I imagine you still want teams like Cornell to be good to give it some parity. You want a team like Cornell to be competitive and have the guys they do. You would think.
Maybe you can become a Virginia Tech fan. A Hokie.
I love their coach, man. I love their coach. That guy was amazing when we interviewed him. He was a good sport.
Blacksburg. Yeah. I mean, I think Bassett's gonna have some fun down there.
They're coming.
Better stay focused.
Have you guys seen their recruiting classes, even outside of those guys? I mean, they've been in the top 5 for the past 3 years in recruiting classes as it is. I don't know what it is or what they do, but they got some kind of magic on getting these guys. It really sucks with Jaden James flipping, but they got him to commit so early. Like, I was hoping he'd go to Cornell because of the whole tie where he went to high school. That's where Simon Ruiz and Gray went to school. But he went down there one time and boom, he committed. I was like, holy crap. Now he ended up switching, but these guys seem to go there and they got some magic they're doing down there where they get these guys. I wish I knew, and I wish I would have known to ask when we had him on the interview, because it's very curious.
Wow. Well, the thing is, to maybe bring in some good news, and that is, correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin, but Cornell come the Collegiate Duals, and by the way, how'd you come with, you are predicting this is the, what do you call it? The groups. This is
the groups, 100%.
This is kind of amazing story, Kevin. Please tell it. Like, the mad scientist over there figured it out. Go ahead.
It's why you guys call me a nerd, because it was driving me nuts, because usually they have this information out way earlier. Who's going to be in the groups? And I noticed there was 3 groups of 3 this year instead of 2 groups of 4 or 2 groups of 3. And accidentally, Cornell and Little Rock put their schedule out only of the teams they were facing, not even of the teams and the dates. And I noticed Cornell had Illinois in there and Ohio State and Little Rock. Then I noticed Little Rock had Ohio State and Cornell. So I'm thinking that's got to be a group. Then I know that they don't put same conference teams in a pool together. So I had to have Ohio State, Penn State, and Illinois all in separate pools. I also know that they don't let you have, they're not going to put you in a pool with a team that you have on the schedule. So I know that I knew that Stanford and Iowa State do back and forths every year, one at their place, one at their place. So I split them off of a pool. And by process of elimination, this is what I came up with. And then after that, a couple months later, they had Iowa State showed that they were going to face Lehigh and Illinois. And then Penn State's schedule now shows North Dakota State and Stanford.
Yeah.
So it all works out.
So, and just to give you people how this is going to go is they'll wrestle their pools, and then the 3 number 1 teams will go into a playoff pool. Am I right there,
No,
Kevin?
not anymore. Nope. They changed it. People were complaining that they didn't want to wrestle more. They wanted to wrestle less. So now there's no moving on. It's going to be Penn State's going to wrestle Stanford and North Dakota State. Cornell's going to wrestle Ohio State and Little Rock. Iowa State's going to wrestle Lehigh and Illinois. And
Are you kidding me?
I don't know who it was, but teams were saying, we don't want to wrestle more. We want to wrestle
I wonder who it was.
Less.
So who's the only guy not participating in nothing next to new? I wonder who it was. I wonder who threw a little hissy fit.
Zach,
I got a good guess.
No.
I went like this. I went like this for Zach. I went like this. I went. And Zach went, boom.
I know.
I cannot believe that. That just blew the Collegiate Duals.
Unbelievable, Kale.
Yeah.
Because
man,
Cornell will be at full strength during them. Am I wrong there?
Yes, by one day, because their final exams end on the 20th and Cornell's on the 21st.
Unbelievable.
We could have saw either Kazak and Duke against Shapiro. We could have saw Haynes against Ruiz. All this cool stuff. Nope. Got to wrestle less. So I was stoked about that because that's what they did in years past. They had you wrestle your pool. And then that's why I remember that when Cornell won their pool, Iowa State won their pool, and then Cornell sat half their team and everybody flipped out. Yeah. That's what they used to do. And now, huge bummer, man.
What a buzzkill. Kale buzzkiller, isn't he? Gee, my nutty dude. How about wrestling once in a while, Kale? That's what we're here to do. Unreal.
You think about Ben Askren. We never talked about Ben Askren. That was an amazing story. And I love seeing his updates because that's a fighter there. And back when he wrestled, you hear about, I just want to wrestle. And he went, dude, what happened to that kind of wrestler?
It wasn't long
ago. I'm not blaming it on the wrestlers. Maybe I should be blaming the coaches. Why are we not wrestling? It does not make any sense.
You look at Yanni's freshman year was 2018. He wrestled 40 matches, right?
Wow.
And that wasn't absurd. This is less than a decade ago that we had guys wrestling all these matches. And
that sounds absurd to say nowadays. If you said he's wrestling 40, that sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And you know what else sucks is why is it that I'm having to do all this stuff to find out what these pools are? Now, I figured out that one of the reasons they were waiting is they were going to see what the draws were for the National Duals Invitational. And when they saw that Illinois was facing Little Rock first round, that 100% made it where Ohio State was going to be Cornell and Little Rock's pool, and Illinois was going to be in the other pool because they were thinking about switching those two. But now it's out, so what are you waiting for? Put it out. They want fans to buy tickets to this, and they don't even know who they're wrestling. They don't even know the format. Why?
Well, it reminds me of
wrestling's got to get better.
I was listening to them talk about the college football system, And so what apparently happened in college, because there's just no Orton, there's no head. No one's running it like a business, dude. You know how college football has been a disaster. Yeah. I'm sure the same thing's happening in wrestling. Well, what has recently apparently happened in college football is the big companies, ESPN and the big networks, just started taking control. And they're like, because they're spending all the money. So they're like, okay, yeah, we'll spend the money for that if you do a tournament. And they basically took control. The networks basically took control of college football. And it actually has gotten better. They have it better. Like, maybe that's what actually needs to funnel down to college wrestling, to the point where networks, people who have better intentions or more engaged, I don't even know what it is, are making better decisions.
Kevin, when they
and I don't want to hear the excuse like, well, wrestling gets the last dibs on the gymnasium and stuff. We're not talking about, like, I know Penn State said that in the past. That's why their schedules have been out late. But it's like, come on, man. Nobody's telling Cal that he can't have a meet on a day or something like that. You know, they got to get their schedules out. It's why I've been a season ticket holder for Cornell for years. I stopped because of the nonsense with not knowing who they're wrestling, that and Gray sitting people randomly and not telling us about it. The communication's horrible. So I'm not going to go drive 2 hours one way, 2 hours back, so I can see that this is the day that Shapiro and Ruiz are sitting. I'm sorry, I'm just not going to do it. You know? And so Kevin, I just said, forget it.
Zach or I we're not on the cutting edge. We're getting back to when they made this announcement about the Collegiate Duals, that we're not going to have any playoff round, we're not going to have a champions round, we're just going to have the 3 pools wrestle in their pools, and that's it. When they made that announcement, or wherever they made that announcement, because this, I'm learning from you, did they say it was the coaches that refused? Or how
this is not even announced yet.
Oh my
Wayne, this isn't even announced yet. I know this from a couple guys that are really on, like, these guys know everything. They're inside all the stuff. And the kid told me, he's like, listen, supposedly he talked to Papolizio and he said teams wanted to wrestle less. They're not doing that for format. Instead, it's 2 days, but they're going to have like one of the pools be on the 20th and 2 of the other pools on the 21st. And you'll notice that on these team schedules too, that Penn State's pool, they're all scheduled on the 20th. The other teams are all scheduled on the 21st. So that's all they're dividing it by. It's still 2 days, but you just got it. So it matches. What he's saying, telling me, matches up. So, but yet they want people to go buy tickets, right?
Wow. Wow.
It's not right. It's honestly tricking people into going, making plans, making travel plans, plane tickets, and then they go there, and it's just a big,
it's bad business, dude. And you're putting out a bad product, which makes it a bad business. Like, yeah.
I almost want to change subject.
And the trust is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Seriously, I don't want to talk about it no more. That really angers me.
Yeah.
Because I was looking forward to that. Quite frankly, if you ask me what's the most anticipated matchup of all year, I might have said Duke against Shapiro. But now that I brought the name up, Shapiro, and like, I still, a lot of people will say, well, Kazak kind of owned him last year. Well, yeah, he walked out of a hospital bed onto the mat after they woke him up from the coma. And he weighed real light. Yeah, he wasn't able to keep up with Kazak right there. We don't know if it's going to be Kazak or Duke, PJ Duke, but either way, we are talking about a very intriguing matchup right here. But I still think Shapiro could very easily end up being a champion.
How's he looking
here? Yeah, what's going on with him?
He looks phenomenal. A lot of people think that he's not wrestling first semester because of injury. It's not the case. He's been wrestling with the Japanese guy that won the 70 kilogram world championships this year, the weight that Duke was in. He's been drilling with him and Takatani, the guy that beat Dake in the Worlds the previous year. They've been in Cornell like all summer long. And I've seen video of them wrestling each other. And Shapiro looks great. Seems to be being careful, not doing goofy crap where he's landing on his head and stuff. but he looks fast. He looks slick. He's wrestling these guys tough. And I think that it's a bummer because I wish he would be there first semester, but he's also up to 163, 164 pounds, which is the heaviest he's ever been. So now he can actually wrestle guys that are closer to his weight at 157 because he's always been light. Not as light as he was, at IVs and NCAAs where he was like 152 because of the coma. But I'm really confident in him this year. I think that there's no excuses. He's healthy. He's gonna not have a lot of matches going in, and I'm feeling good about him.
Now, either the 125-pounder Greg Diakomahalis or the Eli, where's he going to be?
Cornell's actually gray shirting their entire class of 2025 this year. They have 8 guys that are in the top 60 on the big board. A really phenomenal class that includes Eli Diakomahalis at 197. It includes the Cortez brothers, 33 and 41. Anthony Knox at 25. Alicio Parrington at like 157. And there's a couple more I'm forgetting, like a stack class. They're gray shirting the whole class this year. So they're not enrolled at Cornell. They're all going to be wrestling at for the Finger Lakes Club or Spartan, actually. And I think it sucks because Cornell has a gaping hole at 84 and 97 because Mikey Delegata is out this year with injury. So we have 2 guys going in those 2 weight classes that are they have like a few matches each, ever. And we could put Eli in one of those. But what are you going to do? Oh, Jude Carrera and Rocco Delegata too are in that class. So it's a stacked class.
Now, Zach, I know you've been too busy to be up on this question, but I'll throw it Kevin's way. I could be wrong, but I could swear did I hear Willie say Antonio Mills was his pound-for-pound greatest high school wrestler currently in high school? I'm pretty sure that's correct. I'm pretty sure I heard him say that. But
how?
Whatever he might have said, whoever he picked.
Yeah.
Is there a college or a high school kid that you would have number one? Doesn't matter what grade. You would have number one pound for pound that sticks out to you right now.
I mean, Jax Forrest, right? Jax Forrest. I mean, the kid was this close from medaling. I mean, he should have medaled really. And that's a senior level. I think you know what? I don't know about Bo. I don't know. Maybe part of me feels like sometimes I'm too hard on Bo Bassett. You know what I mean? Like where I need to really appreciate what he's doing. With him, the thing is, I watch him. He goes out there, ties up, snap. It's pretty damn impressive, the endurance on this kid, because you can train like insanity training and still not have that endurance. However, I just feel like when he gets to the college level, he's not going to be able to bully guys around like that, So I think that's why I'm not sure about how his style matches up. But I'd say Jax or Bo.
I think what I see when I watch Bo wrestle versus like a Jax, it's not as athletic of a wrestling style. You know what I mean? We watch Jax. You think Jax Forrest is an athlete. He's doing jump flips and stuff. Obviously, Bo Bassett that's not his style. I don't know how that translates to college, but I mean, I agree. It does make you think that it almost makes you think he's not as naturally gifted as Jax Forrest or someone. That's what it leads you to believe, right? But maybe he's a harder worker. I don't know, dude. And I don't know how that translates, but that's what I see when I watch a Bo Bassett wrestle.
Spot on.
Yeah. And even a Melvin Miller, he so lightning quick. So I mean,
that kid's got talent.
He's got explosion quickness, especially for them ankle picks. You could think you're in a match, and all of a sudden he dumps it on you with 2 quick ankle picks, and boom, you're out. You're out of it. And really, that's
a perfect example, really.
Yeah.
Of what you guys are saying. Like Melvin Miller is this natural talent he has, right? That you can't teach, like Zach's saying. Like, and then Bo Bassett, I feel like he doesn't have this natural, of course, he has a natural ability to a certain degree, okay? Nobody's denying that. But he doesn't have that freakish natural ability that, guys I've seen, like Jax, or even like for Cornell guys like Yanni and Vito, this freakish ability they have. Like, I don't see that with Bo, but like Zach says, Bo works harder than everybody. But then when you get to college, you got guys that are just as strong, if not stronger than you, and have endurance. The top guys are going to have endurance, maybe not as good as you, but similar, but they're freak athletes. And I think that's
it makes
where
you think Bo Bassett might not have quite as high of a ceiling as Jax Force or some of these other wrestlers. Like he's already probably closer to that ceiling than all of his peers.
Yeah.
100%.
Now, we finally got the train back on the tracks. Are you and Kevin doing live shows again?
We'll be back.
Year?
We'll be back Thursday night. Kevin, you go for Thursdays live? We're gonna keep that going.
Absolutely.
We're gonna add stuff. Maybe keep it a little shorter, but along those lines, that's about 30 minutes here for this one. Kevin, I want to give you a chance, and both of you, a chance for final thoughts here, and then we'll be back tomorrow night, because this will be Wednesday, tomorrow night.
Okay.
And what do we need to know between now and Thursday, Kevin?
U23s is going to be something that you don't want to miss this year. This is the first time I can say that since its inception in 2017. Every other U23s, I'd just be a box score guy. I probably wouldn't even watch some of it. We never send our good guys. This year, however, is the first year ever that we're actually sending guys that were on our senior team or our U20 team. And we're sending 4 guys that were on these teams. And we're sending all our studs, right? And there's only 2 weight classes that are kind of, not so great. But, man, you're going to watch quality wrestling. And it's not only us, it's the rest of the world. I'll tell you what, if Mitchell Messenbrink can win this weight class, phenomenal. The guys you have in this, it's just going to be crazy how good the competition is in this weight class. I mean, you got Yukayev from Russia, the guy that beat Duke last year at U20s at 74 kilos. You got the 70 kilogram world champion from Japan, senior level, is at 74 this year. Everyone's sending their best. It's really going to be exciting. Don't miss the freestyle portion of U23s.
All right. We'll have to dive into that more Thursday night. Go ahead.
Kevin, the 97-pounder. Do you know anything about him?
Yeah.
Because who is this guy? Can
He's
you
from,
say his name?
Grandview, or I don't know anything about him.
No, we want you to say his name.
No, hell no.
Say it, Kevin.
Say it, Kevin. Say his name.
How long you got?
Say my name.
You're not making me do it. I'll bring in Liam. Liam will have a better chance of saying his name than I will. He just blabber something and it'll sound better when I'm saying.
Yeah, no.
Well, we're looking forward to this season. That's my final word. And this is going to be a lot of fun. Maybe we'll see how it goes in the truck and all. Maybe. Well, I'm getting surgery. You're talking about your bad shoulder. I got a bad shoulder too. And a blown knee. So, and I've been putting up with them for months.
Wow, you're fragile boy.
Oh, yeah, it's blown. It's blown. And I've been putting up for it with months because I'm waiting for wrestling season to come. And then that's when you get operated on. And I might be able to call in on some of these live shows.
Well, we're talking.
Guys too, like U23s too, real quick, not to overkill, but I was looking, 7 of our 10 guys have been in an age level world championship final in their career. 7 of them. And 2 of them, Blaze and Lilladal, are going to attempt to be the only American males ever to win gold in all 3 age levels. That's what they're going for.
Wow.
U17, cool. U20, U23. So just a couple things to keep in your mind. That's how good this team is. And Penn State, I know people are hard on where you wrestle and stuff, but I got to say, man, good job sending these guys to meet their own personal goals, despite, what your normal, avenue you go is. I'm happy they're sending everybody.
I agree. And that sounds like American wrestling is coming, baby.
Well, unlike the Collegiate Duals and whatever's going on over there, why don't you just send the boys out with skirts on? Because if you're not going to have a championship round, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop.
Sounds to me
That makes me angry. I
Dale's
won't
trying
get
to
any further.
avoid a couple L's
Yeah.
to his guys. And he said, Cornell at full strength? I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, we can't do that to start the year. Come
Unbelievable.
on. All right,
right,
that
dude.
shoulder, dude. Come on, man. That's going, man.
Hey, wow, that thing is
All right.
hurt. I
That's
barely
bad, dude.
tapped him. He was over here crying. Kevin.
Bad. I can't lift it above.
Guys,
Oh,
this
please.
is like
Please.
I miss this so much, man.
Well,
You
Kevin,
complete me.
you're not gonna have. I'm not gonna be as energetic as the previous 2 years, dude. This past year has beat me up, folks.
I can't imagine,
I'm a
man.
beat up, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but hey,
All
we're
right.
back,
I can't
baby.
imagine, man.
Yeah,
Kev.
we're back. So,
Good to see you, man.
all right,
Awesome.
that's
Good to see
Kevin.
you guys.
We'll be back. Thanks, folks.